All right. Hello, everyone. I think we're good. Um, yeah. Shit. I was so prepared, and I'm not professional at all. I had my notes up, and then I put them away. Anyway, so hello. I'm actually gonna be on top of my shit now. I'm Rick. I'm the game master for the Hammer of the Gods podcast. But today we're here to play some Together Among the Stars with our friend Emily. Emily, who are you?
I'm Emily. I typically play on Friday nights on the Fixies 5 here on the Vactaire. And I ride adventures and eat mini sometimes.
That's true. That's true. Do all the things.
Do all things.
All right. So, as always, before we get started, got some announcements. So, obviously, we know that our sponsor is always Canadian Dice, or according to Ryan last night, Astrolube. But that's not official. So, go to CanadianDice.ca, use the code TheVactaire, all one word, for 10% off. And this week, I think it either has already gone by or it's coming up. Maggie's dice pick of the week is the Compass set. If you haven't seen it, it'll be in the little thing down below. It'll pop up at some point. Also, check out the new merch store for the Vactaire at society6.com/VactaireTTV for all kinds of cool stuff. Right now, you can see the Like You Do below. A few other awesome designs to check out. And then, obviously, we know that Sundays are DM Jeremy's channel for the Legacy of Fire. Monday is Mistwalkers at 8:30. I know all these things, but as soon as I try to read them, I forget how to do words.
How it always goes.
Yeah. And then this Wednesday, Happy and Artemis will be over on the Goodman Games official Twitch for Mutant Crow Classics at 9 o'clock Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern. They're not going to be awake that early. So, anyway, if people have watched this stream before, you probably know this is not Emily's first time playing this. So, anyway, sorry, easily distracted. So we'll go ahead and get started. Emily, if you would like to roll our first roll, we'll do. I like to start now. I've decided I'm going to do the interplanetary travel to begin with, so we'll start off with that.
I'm gonna just use this very cool die that I got at Recon. It's like a gem.
Ooh.
A 1.
Okay. So for traveling between planets, a 1 is one of you has trouble sleeping. What are you worried about? And obviously, who is having the trouble sleeping?
I think if it's me, I'm definitely having a recurring dream about the creepy four-eyed goats with the sideways mouths. Yeah, just like.
And they're
like
seven spider leg things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real creepy goats. Haunting my every waking and slumbering moment.
I love how last night on stream you were like, yeah, I'll try to keep it less horror, and then you immediately bring up one of the most horrifying things from the last time.
Well, if I'm having trouble sleeping, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's valid. I mean, Artemis just called you out on the same thing.
Okay. I make no promises.
Yeah. Last time, Maggie and I ended with going to the planet with giant fluffy bunnies, and we adopted one. Actually, we adopted 2. So,
Oh gosh, so there's more. You need a bigger ship,
yeah.
I think, at this point.
Oh,
Ranger
absolutely.
Breckett.
Absolutely. Yeah, so let me see. If you want to roll for how many cards.
Okay, we'll try a different die. That's only a 2.
Okay. Maybe it's a small planet. Maybe it's just a really, really boring planet. Right. So I'll actually do something and roll. I got a 2. So our first discovery is arduous to get to. We've got the 5 of spades. And spades are natural phenomena. I know you've already heard all this before, but for people who are watching, maybe for the first time, it gives examples of huge crystal formations, mirages, vividly colored lightning, strange clouds, rocks eroded in strange shapes, veins of precious metals, etc. And a 5 is in a treetop. So, yeah, that's a. I'm not really sure. I guess. You know what? We'll say that. That's a tough one. I'm just going to say that Breckett is kind of looking at this lone tree. Maybe it's like a rocky planet, and there's just this one tree growing up on this cliffside, and kind of like up at the top of it. He thinks that he sees an amoeba, like a very large amoeba, and like kind of does a double take, and then it's not there. So he sees a bit of a mirage. And I don't know. Do you want to do an investigation examination on that?
Just to try and reassure Breckett that that's actually not an amoeba. It's totally fine. And meanwhile, also like reassuring myself that not all of these planets are going to be like terrifying and full of monsters and things. So
Right.
Can we do that again?
You just rolled a d6.
D6.
Yep.
4.
Okay. You get to add a detail you notice about the feature. So, if you notice the mirage, then you could say something about that, or maybe you notice like that it's not a mirage.
Yeah, I think it looks. It could look like an amoeba, and so of course, like Thethys is perfectly understandable. Like, get it? Definitely, kind of looks like an amoeba, but I think it's like a bird's nest. It's like a big poofy white. Looks like a big like marshmallow or something, but there's like a bird up there. I think it's a bird's nest.
Yeah, that checks out. It's probably fine, right? All right. Well, we'll move on to our next. Yeah, it's a wild Swablu. We're just in the Pokemon world again. If you want to roll for our next discovery.
Gosh, okay. Using a different die every time. Oh, that's a 1 again.
Cool. That's another arduous to get to. And this one is the 2 of diamonds. And I know, I think I've got like etched into my brain that diamonds are living beings. And it gives the example of people like or unlike you, fish, dinosaurs, wolves, birds, giant insects, etc. And a 2 is under the light of the moon. So, I don't know, maybe.
Exploring at night again.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I think, yeah, like, like a beast of some kind or something.
I mean, maybe we actually see the bird.
Yeah, maybe it's like a nocturnal hunter, and it's like it made that white, poofy looking nest, but it's like kind of a I can't tell if it's like the moonlight or something, but it's like kind of a brilliant blue color. And it has a very long beak,
Okay.
almost like a spear. And it's very, very large. It took up almost like the whole top of that tree. And now we can see like the wingspan is like 10 feet wide and
Damn.
big
Yeah.
bird.
So it's kind of like an enormous woodpecker.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. All right, I will further examine our new friend. That is a 1. And a 1 on examination is draw the feature. So, Emily,
Yeah.
you would like to draw your bird friend.
I will draw the bird friend.
All right.
How do you draw a bird?
Great question. So, Thethys, would you want to stay on this planet longer and keep exploring, or do you think we've seen all there is to see here?
Well, other than the bird and the tree, we haven't really seen much. We've been exploring for quite some time, and now it's nighttime. I don't really see anything else. Let's see what else there is in this system.
Sounds good to me. While you're drawing, I will roll our interplanetary travel. So that is something. I got a 4, so that is... you make up a game to play during a long, empty stretch of space. What are the rules like, and who wins? Breckett is just like playing fetch with these bunnies. He's taught them how to play fetch. And just like, I mean, they've got to do something, right? And everybody wins because it's adorable.
Like that.
I thought so.
Looking like stork.
Stork, woodpecker, giant, scary bird. It's all the same thing. If you want, while you're drawing, I can go ahead and roll for our cards for this planet.
I just randomly decided this bird has 4 legs.
Like you do. So we've got another 2 cards for this planet. So just another little guy. Except the guy's a planet. All right. Whenever you are ready, if you want to roll for our first discovery.
Right.
5. Okay, I believe that means we're taking a nap. Yeah, you spot while you're resting. Yeah, we've been on the night crew a lot. I don't know if we're just like being punished or what.
Space travel is very exhausting,
That's fair. We got the 7 of hearts for this one. Hearts are ruins. Gives the examples of mysterious obelisks, vine-covered temples, abandoned dwellings for people bigger than you, a wrecked spaceship, etc. And 7 is near a volcano. But you are absolutely right. Space travel sounds very exhausting. Like, if 9 hours driving to Wisconsin was a lot, I can only imagine, like, weeks on a spaceship.
And every time you get somewhere new, it's like a different time of day, so your internal clock is just all out of whack.
Yeah, permanently jet lagged.
Oh gosh, let's see. Ruins near a volcano.
Yep.
I think as we're like climbing this, like around the edge of this caldera or the volcano, there's like edge comes up and there's like a lip underneath it.
Okay.
And in the lip, there's like buildings in the side, like the rock.
Yeah.
And there's like maybe what used to be a path, but it's not easy to get to. Not, especially now that everything's like kind of ruined and abandoned.
Right.
The buildings look much smaller than their size, I would say.
Interesting. So very, very short people potentially.
Little tiny people that like warmth.
Yeah. It's fine. Totally checks out. Let me roll my examination. Let's see what we get to do here. So I got a 5, and 5, I believe. Yeah, I note how the feature changes in some way. And I'm going to say it changes because we see movement inside of some of these buildings. Just like, Thethys, did you see that?
Maybe it's not abandoned.
I think it looks pretty abandoned, but maybe somebody's come back.
Yeah, or something else has taken up residence.
It could be. It could very well be. All right. Let me roll for this next discovery. We'll see if we stay here. Oh God. Arma says it's an entire town of fire amoebas. Everything was great until the fire amoebas attacked.
Yep.
All right. So I got a 3, which means we come upon this discovery suddenly. It is the Ace of Clubs. So Ace is in a field taller than you, and clubs are plants and other immobile forms of life. Gives the examples, because it's the only one that I haven't read yet today, of towering trees, carnivorous pitchers, giant ferns, glowing weeds, floating flowers, oozing mushrooms, etc. I'm going to say, in a field taller than you, I'm going to say maybe on like the outer rim of this volcano. We kind of like decided, hey, let's climb back up over the lip. And on the far side of it, there is just this like open plain. Other than, again, just a lone tree. But this seems very dead. Like it probably could not have survived being that close to a volcano. Still kind of odd though, just the one tree.
Yeah.
So if Thethys would like to further examine, we can.
3.
Okay. So that is add a detail you notice about the feature.
As we kind of get closer to it, we might see like remnants of other trees that were destroyed, and somehow like this one is the only one that stayed standing, but it's definitely just not, it's not like alive.
Right.
And now we can see there is almost like vent of the volcano came up right under the tree. So there's like lava coming out of cracks in the tree, and the tree looks like it's completely like petrified into stone, and it's just this like singular tree leaking lava.
Yeah. Breckett absolutely just like pulls out his little camera phone and takes some pictures of it. He's like, that's freaking cool. Just gonna put that on Space TikTok later. All right. So once again, Thethys, do you want to stay on this planet and further explore, or do we want to head on and see what else there is to see in this sector?
Let's stay on this planet for a little bit because I like volcanoes.
Yeah. There may only be one on this planet, but we saw it, and so might as well stick around.
See it. There's
do you
more other weird stuff.
Exactly. You want to roll to see how many cards we're going to draw this time?
Well, it's a 1, so I guess there's not that much more to see on this planet.
Maybe. All right. Let's see. Oh, wait, no. I rolled for the last discovery. If you want to roll for this one.
5.
5. Okay. So we spot this as we were resting. And it is, the King of Diamonds. So, diamonds, living creatures. And, King is floating in the air. Not flying, floating in the air. So, what kind of...
We should do this one.
What kind of living creature does Thethys see floating in the air?
I think they almost look like Pollen on the wind, you know? But it's a little bigger than just like little particles of dust and pollen and stuff.
Right.
And as we get in the midst of it, it's like we hear little like we realize that they're like talking to each other. It's like
Thethys, did you hear that?
Pollen is sentient. What's happening? Why?
I don't know, but like Breckett grabs his helmet and puts it back on, just in case.
Don't inhale any. Good
yeah.
call.
Like I don't want to start like an interstellar incident because I accidentally breathe in like some politicians from these pollen people.
An entire civilization. Take up residence in your lungs.
Yeah, it's not funny, but it is.
Be kind of terrifying.
Right?
Breathe in a bunch of sentient dust.
Especially if they didn't die, like if they stayed alive, it's weird. Alright, so my examination, as I record how the feature changes in some way. Yeah, I'm gonna say that these pollen people start to just like circle around us. It doesn't seem menacing necessarily. It's a little bit hard to tell because they're very small, but it's just a very casual swirling kind of motion, and it almost seems like oh my god, I read the comment of adopting the pollen people because I accidentally inhale them. That threw me right off. Thank you for that. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. They're swirling. They're doing a swirl. But it almost seems like it seems like maybe there's some sort of pattern to this. Maybe they're trying to communicate with us.
Oh. How hard would it be to figure out the pattern, do you think?
I don't know. You tell me. What is Thethys's like specialty? What did you study in Space Ranger school?
Just because I like rocks and volcanoes, probably geology or something like that. So I don't know if this would be my particular specialty, but any observant person or someone who's doing like scientific observation can identify patterns and stuff. So.
Yeah, but if it's like a form of communication, I feel like that could be kind of tricky to figure out. Like patterns of movement as communication.
Yeah, it's not like we have somewhere to start from.
Exactly. Gotta find the pollen Rosetta Stone.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Like wave at them. No.
they all just kind of like wave back.
Yeah, it's the current of them floating starts to go like this.
You know who we really need here for this? Ranger Rory. They would definitely be a little bit more experienced with the strange creatures. You know, since it's actually their zoo that we're hauling around.
Just need to keep calling in off the ship. Oh.
All right. You know, I think Breckett would like to stay on this planet a little bit longer and see what else we can see. So we're gonna roll a third set of cards here.
Ooh.
It's a 2. This planet refuses to cooperate.
Give up your secrets.
Never.
Want to know your secrets.
All right. You rolled that discovery, right? Okay. So this one is a 4, so we come upon this suddenly. And we've got, the Jack of Clubs. And I don't remember what Jack is. Clubs are plants and other immobile forms of life. And Jack is in the desert. I should have known. Yeah, so I feel like
eruption happened here caused the death of everything.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. I was gonna say like maybe the one side was more, another rocky planet, and as we have crossed to the other side of this volcanic activity, we find a desert, not a sandy desert. It's just a very like barren, cracked earth, very sparse vegetation, and I'm gonna say that we find these like hardy, thorny vines that, as we move, start to crawl towards us. Not like they're sentient necessarily. It just seems like maybe they react to heat or vibration. Could even be like the carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
And if you want to further examine, 4. Let's see, 4 is, you add a detail you notice about the feature.
The movement is like it's like moving towards us. It's like more of a like oozing out. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like it's like it spreads and then contracts and then spreads and contracts.
Interesting.
That's what the movement is.
Everything on this planet just seems to be like movement based. Maybe they don't have like maybe that's their main form of communication.
Maybe there's no sentient races here, or
except for the pollen.
Yeah, maybe they all just work this way.
Yeah.
We just don't understand it because our ways of communication are much different.
Makes sense. All right. Yeah, if you want to roll for our last card, or at least our last card for now. 2. Okay. This one is arduous to get to. I've got the 6 of spades. So, spades, natural phenomena, and okay. We get to mix it up a little bit. 6 is on the snowy peak of a mountain. So it's arduous to get to, which makes sense, traveling across this barren wasteland.
Peak of Mount, and it was what? It was
Natural phenomena.
just a natural phenomenon.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like getting to that peak. There's some little like, you know how like before an avalanche you see little like falling bits of snow and stuff like that. It's kind of like that, but it doesn't seem like, I think like we get ready for some kind of avalanche, but it never happens. And then like some point we see like a big crevice in the ice and hear maybe like music coming out of it or something. That's not really a natural phenomenon, but
I mean, it could be though.
crevices.
Well, it could be. For all we know, maybe there's some sort of like a singing rock.
Yeah.
Who knows? Or actually, I can't think of the name of it now, but Doctor Who, where the Doctor and River go on like their like, I think it was their last date or their first date, whichever, where like the wind blows through and it makes music. Maybe it's something like that.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's one of those just weird coincidences. You know, the Singing Towers. Thank you. We still have a little bit of time. I mean, we can call it a little bit early, but I think I would like to roll another set of cards. So if you would do the honors.
I'm gonna use my Todd Stashwick. It's just a 1. I'm gonna roll it again. It's a 2, so 3 total.
All right, we're gonna do 3 just because.
I want to do more.
All right.
Guys aren't listening to me.
You know, normally they would roll like 6s, just one after the other. So I got a 2 on our examination. So this is arduous to get to. As the 5 of diamonds. So, 5. Yep, and a treetop. And diamond is a living being. I'm gonna say we find just a singular creature, and it resembles the Pollen people, but larger. It's maybe the size of like, we'll go with like a Barbie size. Like it's, tall enough we could actually be able to tell what kind of gestures and things it's making. Better than we could a lot of little pollen.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting in the top of the tree. Also, I know I can go longer, but I like the hour. It's a good time frame to keep to.
Yeah.
But if you want to further examine, Breckett's just kind of like, again, just taking pictures. He's got his little camera phone out. 6. I believe that is, you know how it changes. Yep. You note how it changes in some way.
This is the same planet, right?
Yep. Still pollen volcano planet.
Start seeing like a cloud of little tiny pollen gathering towards this thing, towards the big pollen creature, and as they gather toward it, they just become part of it.
Ooh, I like that.
And then, like, you stop hearing the little like, and when they like finally all gather together, we just hear one, whoa, really deep,
which is
sound from this
slightly terrifying because it's still like slightly bigger Barbie size.
Yep.
Like,
Just
oh,
chilling.
okay, this is cool. I love this. Don't you love this?
Definitely. Definitely. Oh, what a deep voice.
You know,
Did you
Thethys,
eat
I think I
them
saw something.
or
I think I saw something over here. Do you wanna come this way and we'll check that out?
yeah, let's go that way.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to roll for our next discovery, we'll see what's over in that direction.
Ooh.
2. So an arduous journey, and the 7 of spades. Or 7 of clubs, sorry. 7 of that thing. So back to the volcano, or a volcano, and clubs are plants and other mobile forms of life.
Oh yeah, okay. Gotta go hydrate. Okay, sorry.
Oh, did we? My chat keeps kicking me out and then reloading.
Oh, fun. Well, it gives me a chance to think.
Yeah, exactly.
I think whatever. This is probably a different volcano, and it's more like been more dormant than the other one. Like the other one was still actively seeping up lava and stuff.
Right.
This one is pretty chill. It's like maybe those Icelandic volcanoes that are just like super brilliant green, even though they erupt all the time. We find this like moss that's almost like an electric green color, like very bright lime green, and it has kind of a bioluminescence to it as well, so it's just really extra. This volcano looks super bright, very alluring place, covered in the moss is like very soft.
I feel like Thaddeus is, checking out, like, sees the moss and is like, oh, well, volcano, let me go look at that. And then you turn around to ask a question, and Breckett's just like got little tweezers out and like taking samples of this moss.
In like a vial.
Exactly. Like, oh, this is going to be so cool. Let me see what this does.
Great.
All right. We've got one more card. And hey, there we go. Back to resting. The 4 of diamonds. It's always fun when we find living creatures while we're sleeping or resting. 4 is in a steep canyon, and
Ooh.
Diamonds are living beings. Okay, so we had the volcano had those buildings and something moving around. We saw the pollen people. We saw the big pollen people. I'm gonna say that we find another like crevice in the earth or this planet, and in it we find more similar kinds of buildings. As we kind of like rappel down into this canyon, we notice that there's probably some sort of geothermal vents further down because it significantly increases in temperature the further we go. And then, kind of like as we make our way down to the bottom, we see that these pollen creatures, like the larger ones, have all gathered around, and they seem to be some sort of maybe like religious type thing or like a celebration of some sort. It's hard to say, but it seems like there is one that is about the size of a toddler, so significantly bigger than any of the ones we've seen so far, and it has some sort of like staff-like tool that it's holding, as it is talking to the Barbie-sized pollen, and then the pollen-sized pollen, who just all seem to be like making these rhythmic motions. And we do notice that the larger ones, the biggest one is firmly on the ground, but even like the Barbie-sized ones, they are floating as well. Like they just kind of float as part of this pattern. So if you want to examine that, feel free.
They've got like a whole little society down here. 4.
4. I was waiting for that to be a 1 or 2, and you have to draw it.
No, I was like, I might draw it anyway.
There you go. I'm sure nobody would be upset about that. So 4, you add a detail you notice about the feature. So what detail do you notice about this weird, not weird, but this like unexpected sight?
I think we notice that they start kind of chanting a little bit, like they're doing. It's like you said, some sort of like religious ritual, and one of the larger Barbie-sized Pollens is in the center, and they're kind of like doing a little ritual around it. And as they are chanting like, and then it like all kind of culminates in one big shout, and the Barbie-sized Pollen that was in the middle kind of explodes out into like really tiny microscopic little dust pollens. And maybe that's how they reproduce.
Yeah. Breckett's first thought is like, did it just die? Did we just watch it die?
Oh no, it seems like... I don't know.
And then like looking down, it's like, oh man, I've got glitter all over me. But then you notice that they start moving. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe it is reproduction. Maybe this is like the circle of life.
Maybe pollen creatures.
Also, I just picture like as they're chanting, I feel like the bigger ones with those deep voices are doing like the throat singing. Exactly. So you've got like the different ranges, like the higher pitched little ones, then the deep voiced kind of medium sized ones, and probably the big one has like a very, very like falsetto high voice just because, you know. Exactly. Again, it's the circle of life, you know. Yeah. So Breckett definitely is he's just got like his little communicator out. Obviously was filming the entire thing for Space Tech Talk.
Cool.
But then is just like,
you would do.
Yeah, and he's just calling back to our home base of Hermes Station. He's just like, can you send maybe some linguists out here or something? I think we need to make contact with these people. So yeah. Anyway, that is our Together Among the Stars first contact. Just shortly after the Star Trek first contact day. So, you know. Anyway, that's all I've got. I think that's a good place to stop it. We're almost at an hour.
Just beginning to make contact with an unusual race of sentient pollen.
You know, like you do. Yeah, so Artemis, if you want to get the raid started, we're going to raid Gooey Cube. Yeah, so we will see you all next time. Make sure to check out our other streams. So, alrighty. Bye.